I was going to play the Animals of Farthing Wood. My dad's gone to bed, and he's another 70-year-old man who's still working. So, Jimmy Carr has a joke, and it's annoying me. A lot of friends of mine are travellers. I really want to specify this is a very important thing to me. Gypsy, it really refers to Egypt. Gypsy, Egypsy. Nothing to do with traveller people, nothing to do with Romanian traveller people, nothing to do with Roma traveller, nothing to do with... They're Abel. They are the people of Cain and Abel. And ultimately Cain kills Abel. That's why wandering shepherds don't survive, hippies don't really survive, government survive, and chronology survives. Buildings survive. They're just people who have the right to live like Abel because God likes it and prefers it, and it's religious. And in Ireland it's kind of religious. Well, the travelling people are fiercely religious. Forgotten about it at all and bring it back home. But Jimmy Carr was not referring to travellers or any sort of people like that whatsoever. It's my word. I use gypsy all the time. I say it all the time. I was homeless for years. I was kind of a gypsy. Everyone's a gypsy. We all came kind of somewhat out of Egypt. And we left it all behind. And that's the thing about it. We left it all behind, whatever that was going on in Egypt, because it failed. It didn't work out well. It may as well as resemble death camps kind of thing, but sophisticated death camps kind of way. You know, they were a burning bush. They were living in spiritual bondage in a way. And Egypt failed, basically. Egypt had precepts that said it would never fail, and these laws and meters will never fail. And because they wrote that so much into stone, that it did fail, and it got really bad, and it got nasty, and it got like, you know, ghetto-y and separate and different and weird, and they're probably doing weird bad things to Israelites without even realising it. So Egypte means someone that's still practicing, say, what we left behind. We've outgrown things, and we always outgrow this birth pangs and rebirth, and so much things have gone. But to still practice things that are no longer needed in a modern society, are outdated. So since Christianity, since he survived on the cross, we have no need to overcome oblations. It was the end of oblations, so there shouldn't have been any more kind of stuff like that. There was desperate times and desperate measures. And we were relieved of all that. And it changed. So people still doing things in the past from past religions are considered derogatively referred to Egyptian or Gypsy. Just a note on literally Egyptian, like Euro people are mad about it. You know, French and all love actual Egyptology. I studied it a little bit myself, but I realised it's not what was wanted for a world. It wasn't what the Lord wanted you to go off and start again, and that's why it's just very critical kind of condition of them, the heroes, the Israelites, the original Hebrews that went off and started it again and went through such lengths and pains to start fresh in a fresh potting bed and start it all over again. The epic story of the Bible, you know. They wanted to start it again from scratch, and even the people were probably asking, well, what do you have for us now? What do you have, like, compared to what we had in Egypt? And they're like, oh, we're working on it. Terrible looking time. But until Jacob, and then even Jacob wasn't even stable and secure. He had to wait till like it grew within it, grew. So Jimmy Carr isn't really referring to, you know, Jimmy Carr is probably like, when he says gypsies, that word that I kind of always used, and I might have made it famous by accident, but he's talking about, well, to me, he's not, I don't know, he doesn't already talk about his comedian. No, he's not a comedian. He'd reach comedy if he was a comedian. He's an absurdist. He's a funny absurdist. But he said a few other things. He said, I wanted to kill lots of other people. They didn't. He like just didn't want people. It was, I'm not getting into it. I just hate talking about it. I hate that topic altogether. Of all the history in the world, this shit is crap. This fucking thing. It's just this recent surface face value of everything, and nobody studies what's behind all of it, and it's got a terrible impression of what's in the face value of what's behind us. Sound of Music is a good movie, you know? Music. So it's just stuff we left behind. So honestly, if you want my opinion of who gypsies are, there's very powerful people in the world that do messed up stuff, that babies on fires, chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost reading, there's a dark song, man. Everybody knows folks singing Yuletide psalms when Christianity wasn't around and things weren't great during Christmas. And still singing Yuletide things. And I'm like, whoa, little world. And before Christianity and Christmas was nice time of year, became a stable time of year, and you can get through Christmas. So yeah, nothing to do with traveller people is what I was mainly want to say, where Jimmy Carr gets killed by a fucking lot of travellers. You could say it's just people that are just disrespectful or just exploit things that are religions, not even religions, things just a bit of a hustling maybe, I don't know. You're free in this world, this very metropolitan world, to examine and read all the religions of the world in this day and age. You can't really hold it against someone or say somebody is this or that, because all the world religions are available to us all. You can't say you have an ephemerality or a limited understanding based on your culture or based on your religion in any sort of way. So you can't really hold religion against or to anyone in the modern world. So don't kill Jimmy. It was almost honest comic relief that was somewhat kind of needed to stir those kind of waters. Just because I cannot stand the anti-German and Judaism division that became. I'm Irish. I don't give really a fuck. Like Elijah, I care more about it than other people. Cannot stand that poxy division that came between, because they probably loved each other so much and they probably got on in like the best culture between each other. It's just so fucking interesting. But anyway, and the with travellers, just outdated practices that aren't needed. Like it grows and it changes. You don't need to do things that it was desperate periods and desperate times and desperate measures. And things change and things get better and things get more stable and you were very free. Even though you were very free, a lot of your world politicians were practicing and praying to Satanism, like instead of Santa Saintedness, a sort of history of saints that outrid a time back post Noah. Job was at a time of post Noah. There was nothing to do with stabilities at all back then, far from period from Jacob, and terrible no lordship at all, terrible or no lordship, and they still practice and pray and call on ancient times and ancient things, and it's very disgraceful to a history and entire history of saints and lordships and artists and musicians and wonderful people that have replaced it and overgenerated it and moved on from that. So these people really are lots to do with America, probably American metropolitan cultures, and Switzerland, I think, are pissing me off big time. Switzerland is a metropolitan culture, and Switzerland is like a metropolitan culture for the richest people in the world, and Switzerland has to accommodate for all the richest people in the world who probably have the most delicate of tastes and things. So Switzerland is just some sovereignty of Switzerland, post-war sovereignty that's really been exploited, and there's definitely a fucking problem going on as far as I'm aware in Dutch or crazy Denmark or something. Listen, say, don't kill Jimmy. Not had nothing to do with travellers. Gipsy is a term that I used or may have made popular. Taken maybe altered, is it, for outdated, bad, or functionalistic things of sacredness. There's a lot of Gipsiness in this world, this Malthusian world of multitude and multiplicity. You wouldn't want to know about it. The less you know about it, the better. And a lot of people know about it. The t-shirt you used to own and gave to a second-hand store. A girl that comes up to you in Rome, in central Rome, and gives you a bracelet for free. This is what it means by there's bad Malthusian practices. A lot of Malthusian mixed up shadowy practices. That's why rich people buy holes to throw all their family photographs and their rubbish in the same big hole, so you won't ever get your hands on it. It's terrible. I like second-hand stores. I like being free and not knowing about it. But there's a lot of Gypsy hood will come from that as well. Malthusians, magic. It's not magic, sorry, it's Malthusian mix-up. But, Gypsy, as far as I'm concerned, he was challenging very powerful and affluent people in this world. These people aren't the people on the streets of Rome that give you a bracelet. That's maybe a little bit, but not exactly the ones you want to really worry about are the ones that are harvesting your children. The ones that are Black Lives Matter because black kids disappear. Too much so, and they paid for the hospital. They paid for the hospital that you were disappeared in. They paid for the psych ward. It's in their name, you know. It's sometimes so. Yeah, God knows, only knows, man. I don't know. Might be a massive revelation of it all, but it'd be a nasty fight anyway. So don't kill Jimmy. Comic relief saves. Humor actually prevails overall. So and I don't know. You're gonna need to get for me to get request again. I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen. I need a good history of lordship and recognition of lordship, and no, it's not. Actually, the point of the video was gypsies. Gypsy. I'm a gypsy. See, is that right?